80s sci-fi series V has become a cult favourite thanks to a loyal and dedicated following, and in part because of Jane Badler. She played Diana, the Supreme Commander of the alien race.
But as Craig Bennett found out, there's so much more to the actress than just her role on the classic series.
From Star Trek to The Twilight Zone, The X-Files to Quantum Leap, the small screen has attracted a smorgasbord of sci-fi classics, including the 80s hit V.
I'm told that our affiliate station KXT in San Francisco now has a picture. Yes, there it is. Good Lord.
Do you believe in truth, Mr. Donovan?
Well, depends on who I hear it from.
Jane Badler became a science fiction icon as Diana, the evil alien scientist and Supreme Commander with the humongous hair.
If Philip had survived, you'd have seen your victory turn to ashes. Please, darling, sour grapes are out of season.
V began as a 2-episode miniseries, but was so successful it spun off as a TV series and the inevitable reboot.
It was so crazy because you go from sort of relative obscurity. I mean, not that I didn't do soap operas, but it was a whole different thing. And I remember doing the Macy's Day Parade in November, and I was staying at a hotel, and we had one of those V cars that went by in the freezing cold. I had to wear that jumpsuit, and I was literally about to get hypothermia. And I remember coming down from the hotel and thousands of people waiting for me.
Will you be staying long?
As long as it takes.
Takes for what?
To win the war.
Talking about things being huge, your hair back then in the 80s was incredible. Just between you, me and the gatepost, how many cans of hairspray do you reckon you went through to get Diana's hair that big?
A lot, and that's a funny story because every time a hairdresser would come, even to this day, with a can of hairspray, I go, please get that hairspray away.
Perhaps I would enjoy the challenge.
V was about visitors or reptilian aliens who were looking to take over Earth, and Jane, as Diana, had a blast making the show. The special effects at the time were certainly cutting edge.
You think of V, and probably one of the most famous, certainly now iconic scenes is where you ate the hamster. How did they do that?
It was so complicated. They had to do like a prosthetic and a dummy of me that now you look at and you go, boy, that looks funny. But at the time, it was innovative.
Jane has been on our screens for over 4 decades, beginning her showbiz career as a beauty queen. In 1972, she entered the Miss America contest and learned just how cutthroat the pageant world could be.
It was really exciting and very scary and a very fierce competition. Let me tell you, a fierce competition. The 50 girls from all over the different states of America, nobody ate. And when they announced the 10 finalists on national television, and you realized you weren't one of them, and the minute it's over, every girl that did not make it went backstage and we all stuffed our faces.
In 1986, following her stint on V, Jane landed a guest role on the long-running soap Falcon Crest, where she got to co-star alongside Jane Wyman, one of the legends from Hollywood's golden years.
I assume you have a plan. I'm going to seduce him. That's a traditional technique, one that I don't think he'll go for. I'm going to make him think that it was his idea.
Jane Wyman was the ultimate professional. Never revealed too much of herself. You never really felt like you were getting to know her. Showed up, knew her lines, very, very hospitable, very lovely, very polite. That was great. But would I say that she was my best friend or super warm? I think she just did her job and she was the ultimate professional. There is something about the sense of your feet planted firmly on the ground and knowing your place in this world. And that's what I got from her.
Mr. Channing, I expect you to keep more regular hours.
I was looking through your very impressive resume, and tucked among a whole bunch of fabulous credits is Neighbours.
That's the beauty of a straw poll. You find out all sorts of things.
It was really fun, and I was surprised at how fast-moving it was. I had so much respect for the actors on that show. I mean, once again, like my early days in soap operas, it was very, very quick. You had to come in very prepared. And at that time, Margot Robbie was also on the show, but she was even then put in so much work. I was so impressed with her work ethic.
Well, hello, Paul Robinson.
And I loved working with Paul. Oh my God, that was his character name, Paul. Stefan, yeah. Stefan, who had been on the show forever and really was great and showed me the ropes. So I loved being on the show.
Can we check for monsters?
Honey, there's no such thing as monsters.
Jane's latest role is in the Aussie horror movie Surrogate, currently streaming on Tubi.
Where did you get those bruises?
She comes into my room at night.
It's a nail-biting, heart-pounding flick that also stars the fabulous Kesty Morassi of Wolf Creek fame.
It's about a woman who's possessed. There is a child who went missing many years earlier, who has never really properly died. So that's the start of it. But it's called The Surrogate, if I give too much away. But from my point of view, I am a social worker who is investigating child abuse.
To fans, Jane's life seems like a magic carpet ride of showbiz success. But away from the screen, she's endured some heart-wrenching tragedies. When she was 18, her brother and father died in a plane crash, something she still finds difficult to talk about.
Very rarely have I talked about this. I almost feel that I had such strong denial that I went through the next 10 years just as a warrior. You know, like that was the only way that I could cope. And my career was all that I thought about, was my career. And I don't think it was till later that I actually dealt with the trauma of it, which was so interesting about tragedy, because often your body has a way of dealing with great tragedy that sometimes you can't deal with it in the moment. And so it kind of has this delayed reaction.
In January 2020, her 27-year-old son, actor Harry Haynes, took his own life. Harry had long struggled with mental illness and addiction. Jane told me she finds strength in her husband Stephen and their son Sam, but her grief is still achingly raw.
So sorry, excuse me if I do. But you're right, my son was so special, but he had this very, very extreme sleeping disorder as a child, and he couldn't sleep. Can you imagine being born not being able to sleep? He was like a genius. He was not of this world. He was something very unusual. With great talent comes sometimes brain activity that's kind of bizarre. But he was extraordinary. Even in his life, he produced so much, and we've released a lot of his music. And in a week, we're releasing a song called One Love. It's about the fact that no matter what we look like, no matter how old we are, no matter what our gender, no matter what color of our skin, there really is one love connecting us all.
Do you feel him around you? Is he there all the time with you?
Oh yeah, he's so free. That's the thing that you feel when people pass. My own feeling is that the burden of the human form, the burden of pain is gone. And so the essence of what you are is free. And I'm also writing a memoir, and I'm so excited about it. This has been an ongoing project for the last year. It's going to probably take another 2 years because I'm taking it very seriously, and I'm really excited for the world to see the memoir. About Hollywood, about Harry, about grief, about loss, about everything.
You are incredible. I feel your heart is the size of the world.
Thank you so much. I love this, you know.
Oh, great work, Craigie. She was awesome.